this is a bizarre demand. I don't believe it's precedented in certainly in U.S. history. Any leader that has been chosen by a foreign leader is not going to have very much legitimacy at all. We don't have an ambassador in Iraq. We don't have an ambassador in Saudi Arabia. We don't have an ambassador in Qatar. We don't have an ambassador in Kuwait. He prefers to use envoys with whom he has personal connections. Iran's military capabilities have been degraded. The law of unintended consequences always wins out. This war has not been thought through. I think that I am not alone in being struck by the fact that this is a bizarre demand. I don't believe it's precedented in certainly in U.S. history. As your question suggests, any leader that has been, quote unquote, chosen by a foreign leader, much less in this case a U.S. President who's initiated a war against the country, is not going to have very much legitimacy at all. I think if you add on top of this the fact that Ayatollah Khamenei's successor is going to be chosen, rightly or wrongly, by clerics, by Shia clerics, it's not known that President Trump has a background in Shia theology. First of all, the sad truth of the matter is how few ambassadors the Trump administration has appointed. We don't have an ambassador in Iraq. We don't have an ambassador in Saudi Arabia. We don't have an ambassador in Qatar. We don't have an ambassador in Kuwait. I could go through the list. So that is the first indication of diplomatic malpractice. I think it's because the Trump administration, particularly the second Trump administration, its diplomatic preference, its policy preference is very much top down. So he prefers to use unconfirmed envoys with whom he has personal connections, such as his son-in-law Jared Kushner and his golfing buddy Steve Witkoff, who not only are charged with negotiating with the Iranians, but also with Gaza and with Ukraine, which is a pretty hefty plate of responsibilities. So I think that's a primary reason. You also see in the policy structure here in Washington, it's very much top down. The National Security Council staff is a very good example. Previously, it would feed information and policy recommendations up to the president after they had been vetted through the interagency community. Now, the president and his very closest advisors tell them what the policy is, and they implement it. Now, that's certainly, there's nothing wrong with that constitutionally, but the problem is that you're losing out on the great amount of expertise that we see, that the U.S. government has, or at least had until so much of it was purged by the Elon Musk, Donald Trump approach to government. Well, it's definitely going to reshape the region. I think in some ways it already has. I mean, obviously Iran's military capabilities have been degraded. I think also it's going to dramatically change the attitudes of the Gulf Arab countries. On the one hand, they're going to be even more suspicious of Iran than they were before. On the other hand, they may have questions about whether the United States has the capability to protect them under their security umbrella. The longer term implications are even more troubling, because if there's one thing that United States policymakers should have learned from the mistakes of invading Iraq, it was the law of unintended consequences always wins out. This war has not been thought through. The repercussions have not been thoroughly examined or even cursorily examined. And that's deeply troubling to me, as frankly, just as an American citizen.